my channel, Tiff on the Block. Welcome. So welcome. I just want to welcome you guys back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for your support. Those of you that have subscribed to my channel, I appreciate. So you guys, in this video, I'm just basically giving you all kind of a inside look of Tiff and me being married. Many of you may not know that I am married. I haven't did any marriage vlogs or videos yet. This is actually my very first one. So I do want to get my husband in one of these videos. It's just like through the week, our work schedules are so different. And then on a weekend, he's tired or doing side work. So I'm going to make a promise to you all to get him on one of these videos. But this video is just about kind of like how we met, when we got married, things like that, and how it's going. Okay. So if you guys want to see, you know, kind of what my marriage is about, keep on watching. So you guys, first question that you all probably want to know. So how long have you been married, girl? So I've been married, it'll be 3 years, February 7th of 2024 that I've been married. So it's been like 2 years, almost 8 months, 9 months, in some weeks and days. So it's been almost 3 years, thanks be to God, February 7th of 2023. Now, we got married basically during the pandemic, so February 7th, 2021. So we really couldn't have a big wedding at that time. So we pretty much got married at the Apostolic Church that I was going to here in New York. It was just me, my husband, and then we had like 2 witnesses, and then the pastor, and then I think it was like another pastor. That was it. So that was our official, ceremony of getting married. And then in June of that same year, we had like an actual wedding in Missouri, which is where I'm from. So I'm going to post some pictures here. Just kind of like our wedding pictures, wedding day, all that good stuff. But it was such a beautiful moment. I just thank God for my family and friends that really helped put this thing together, because I live in New York. So they all had to get all that stuff together in Missouri. I just gave them the idea that I wanted, and then it really came to pass. A shout out to my friend Sharon, because she definitely hooked that wedding up for me, and I definitely appreciate it. Okay, the next question is, how did we meet? Okay, so we met August 10th, 2019. Okay, we met in Manhattan. Okay, I went to Manhattan because I was still pretty much new here. I was only here in New York for a year at that point. So I still didn't know how to get around, but I wanted to go like to Times Square by myself. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was like, God, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go out today. I'm going to experience life. And honest to God, y'all, I was like, maybe I'll even meet my husband today. Honest to God. And lo and behold, I went to Manhattan, had a little time, had a good time, walked around. I was like, okay, I'm about ready to go now. And I met my husband at the subway station. I was going back home and he was going to work. And I met him at the subway station. And I remember at first I was like, bro, get away from me, because literally I was not trusting any New York guys. I'm like, y'all crazy, y'all liars. I'm not trusting any New York men. And that's how I was. But it was just something about him that it was different. First of all, he's Belizean and he cooks and he made me laugh. And lo and behold, y'all, this picture is the day that we met. This picture right here. I took this picture on the subway. I was going back home, and before I left, I was like, man, let's just get a picture. Like, I wasn't even studying him at that point, but I took this picture. So this is us. We were so young. I don't know if here we go. We took this picture literally on the subway, and in 2019, August 10th, on the subway. I did not think I was going to see him again, because literally, y'all, he gave me his number. I remember. And I don't really, I didn't want to let him down. So I was like, sure, just get, he's like, come on, can I have your number, blah, blah. So I let him give me his number, and I was not about to text him back. I was like, okay, let me just get his number so he can leave me alone, honest to God. And he ended up getting on the subway with me and sat right next to me. But it was so funny. But yeah, that's how we met, at the subway station. So yeah, okay. All right. Question number 3, basically, how is it going? I mean, we've been married almost 3 years. How's it going? So it definitely started off rough. It started off rough. I'm not gonna lie. It started off rough. Um, and it has been nothing but God that has held us together this long, going on 3 years. But it was definitely a rough start, and I believe a lot of that had to do with the foundation of our relationship. You know, I believe that the foundation of our relationship it wasn't built on God like it should have been. And this is just a tip for those that are watching me that desire to be married, that are engaged, that are thinking about getting married. Please listen to me. Please make sure that you are building your relationship on Jesus Christ. Because if you do not build your relationship on Jesus Christ in the beginning, when you get married, there are going to be a lot of things that you're going to be going through because you chose not to build it on Jesus Christ in the standard that He wants for a relationship or a marriage to be. And I will say, you know, we had a lot of fun in the beginning. A lot of fun. Traveled a lot. We went out of state a lot. We had a good old time doing things that we should not have been doing. But when we got married, you know, you would think, oh, we had all this fun. You know, that fun is just going to continue into the marriage, and all the good times going to continue into the marriage. But for us and for me, it was a lot. It was a lot that I had to deal with in the beginning of our marriage. And like I stated again, it was because, again, that the foundation of our marriage wasn't where it should have been in the beginning. So to those that are watching this, I beg of you to make sure that, number one, you are involved in a church that you can grow in, you and your potential spouse can grow in. Number two, that you are a part of some group or marriage group at your church with older, mature couples that can help you and lead and guide you and your potential spouse, that are watching out for you all. And number three, get your pastor involved. You know, if you plan on getting married, you plan on settling down with this man or this woman, I beg you to get your pastor involved. Let the men of the church meet the future spouse that you're looking at. Let the women of the church meet this future wife that you're looking at. Because there's sometimes there are things that they can see that you don't see about that person, and vice versa with the other person. So what I'm basically trying to say is that, you know, to avoid, you know, unnecessary battles in the beginning of your marriage, make sure you found it on God. Make sure you found it on the Word of God. Save yourself for marriage. Don't go into having sex before marriage. You know, just make sure you are doing things the right way according to the Word of God, because I'm telling you, God's order is protection. And when you follow God's way, you know, it will lead to blessings and less stress and problems, you know. So like I stated, basically, you know, the beginning of our marriage, it was very, very rocky, you know, very rocky. But God has definitely, you know, His mercy has kept us, and we are still holding on by the grace of God. It has not been easy whatsoever, but God is still good. You know, we still have a love for each other, and we're still wanting to strive and make this thing work. So, Lord, I thank you for that. Okay. Let's see here. What things have I learned in the almost 3 years that we've been married? Number one, patience. Now, I thought that I was always a woman of patience. Like, that's just how I was. I'm just a very patient person. But marriage, ooh-wee. Patience with your spouse. It's like 2.0 patience. So that's definitely something that I've learned since I've been married in this almost 3 years, is just patience with one another. Also, that you can't build this thing by yourself. I don't care how good you think you are, how knowledgeable you think you are. You know, I grew up in the church. My father's a pastor. I'm thinking, oh, I know what I'm doing. Oh, please, I got this thing in a bag. Oh, no. Marriage is a whole other level. And without Jesus Christ as a foundation of your marriage, without you praying and fasting and seeking godly counsel, your marriage will not stand. Because believe it or not, you cannot build this marriage thing on your own. It takes God. So if you have God at the forefront of your marriage and in the spouse, and you all working together as one, there's nothing too hard that God cannot do. So that's definitely something I've learned, just patience, the fact of continuing to involve God in every aspect of my marriage. Also that, you're living with a totally different individual. Like when you get married and you move in with each other, it's like you all are becoming one. So how you usually keep things in the home is not how they keep things in the home. How they want things in the home is not maybe how you want things in the home. So it's just like getting to a middle ground with that, because sometimes it's annoying. You're like, okay, I like the clothes folded like this. You like the clothes folded like this, or I clean like this and you clean like this, and cooking. Okay, because my husband is Belizean, so he cooks a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, he can cook. Okay, that is one thing that I am grateful to God about with my husband. One of his amazing traits is that he is an amazing cook. Like every single thing that my man cooks, it's amazing. So coming from someone that has culinary like skills when it comes to cooking, to someone like me that I don't be cooking like that, like it's a struggle. It is really a struggle, because he's like, Tiffany, you need to season it like this. You need to make sure the onions are cut like this and sauteed like this and this, and you need to add this seasoning, this seasoning. First of all, half of these seasonings I've never even heard of, okay, bruh? But it's just like, I've had to learn to adjust to that, because it's just like he likes his food a certain way, because he loves cooking. Like that's something that he loves to do. And me, I'm like, okay, I like to cook. No, let me just get that wrong. I cook because I'm hungry. I don't cook because I love it. You know what I'm saying? But I've had to learn to adjust to that, and just the different backgrounds that we grew up with. He grew up a certain way. I grew up a certain way. I grew up in the church. He didn't grow up in the church. So there's a lot of things that we had to kind of, again, come to a common ground with. It has not been easy, and again, that brings back to the point of, you have to incorporate God in all that you do, in every season of your marriage, every season of your life, because again, you're becoming one with someone that's totally different than you, and you may think you know them before marriage, but when you get married, it's just like you're seeing more of them, because now you're in their space and they're in your space, so that's definitely been something that I've had to adjust to and not take it so personal, because I used to take that personal, because like I used to like cry and feel bad, because I'm like, I'm trying to cook and he don't like this and he don't like the way that I cook, and man, whatever, this. But, I've learned to put on my grown woman pants, so to speak. And just like, Tip, that's just how it is. You both are different. He likes things a certain way, and you compromise. You compromise for the people that you love, okay? So that's something that I've learned, just compromising. So he also has a daughter, a beautiful daughter, and so I'm a stepmother. And that has also been a journey. It's been a journey navigating that. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy when you marry into someone's life that has children, or a child or children. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially on the woman's part, because you're dealing with the baby mama, or vice versa on the man's part, and you're dealing with the baby daddy. That's not an easy path to walk through. It's not an easy path. But again, I had to involve God in that, because in the beginning it was hard. It was hard for me. It was stressful for me. I cried a lot. I was angry a lot. And number one, you have to understand, I feel like for anyone that is wanting to get married and that is going to marry into someone's life that has a child or children, that child is a very important piece of that marriage. They are. And that's just something that you have to accept. You have to accept. And you have to love that child like it's your own. And, even though, you may not be received as the step parent or whatever like that, you're doing that unto the Lord. So there were times where I felt like, I wasn't appreciated as the stepmother. When it comes to my husband, how he looked at me when it came to that point, or how the situation in general, sometimes I felt like I wasn't appreciated. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, I'm your wife. I should come first, And in retrospect, I do come first, but at the same time, that doesn't belittle the thought that he does have a child and she's important to him as well, or he's important to her as well, or vice versa. The child is important to the father. So what I'm saying is a child is important, so that is something that I feel like I had to really, let God deal with me about, because again, I've never had children. I've never dated a guy that had children. So I didn't really know how to deal with that situation. It was a very, very difficult situation for me. But again, thanks be to God that God has really lightened the load for me as it pertains to that. And it's been going really well. And I enjoy being a stepmother. I enjoy doing what I can, because that's all I can do. You're not the child's mother, you're the stepmother. So all you can do is what you can and leave the rest to God. So yes, that has definitely been another thing that I've had to get used to, being married. And lastly, do I regret getting married? No. I don't regret getting married. Again, there have definitely been some hard truths that I've had to accept. There has definitely been some hard seasons, which, like I said, again, it's only been about 3 years of marriage, but there have been some very hard times that I've had to deal with being married. But, God is good. God is faithful. God is just, even when we, make bad decisions, or even when we do things that are not pleasing to God, God is still faithful to use those bad situations and turning them around for our good. And not only that, allow us to grow. And I feel like that's one thing that I can really thank God for in my marriage, is that if nothing else, this marriage has caused me to draw closer to God in every area of my life. My faith, and just my prayer life, and just being more consistent with going to church, and being more consistent at being in my word. This marriage has caused me to be on my knees in prayer. And that's one thing that I can just, thank God for, because I honestly feel like before I got married, it wasn't as, a push to do. I go to church, I pray, but I mean, being married, it's going to cause you to pray. I'm talking about pray. Pray for yourself, pray for your spouse. And it just calls you to grow up. Marriage is one place where you cannot be, there really is no place for pride in marriage. There really is no place for me. There really is no place for, it's all about me, and just, I don't care what you think. Marriage is a place where you are going to become one, or you're going to break up, or you're going to go your separate ways. It's going to cause you all to become one. And I believe that's the purpose of marriage. It's causing you all to be one. It's tearing off of those things that are not like God. It's tearing off of those things that are causing you not to grow to be the woman or the man that God is calling you to be. And I think that is the beauty of marriage, is because it's going to cause you to grow up. And I feel like that is definitely something that my marriage has taught me, and I'm sure my husband too, in many areas of his life. But all in all, I thank God for my marriage. It isn't perfect, but God is continuing to build us and mold this marriage together to be what he wants it to be, for his glory and for a testimony to other people. But I would definitely try to get my husband on my channel. I'm going to try to make it a weekend thing to try to do a video with my husband, just to get his viewpoint on things. But yeah, you guys, I love you guys. If you are married and watching this video, comment down below, how long have you all been married? Where did you all meet? How is it going for you? What tips, things can you give me? Because I'm still new. God bless you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.